Hi, everybody, and welcome back. On today's episode, we will be discussing the highly anticipated release Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan, the last book of the Skyland series. But before we start today's discussion, we have a few reminders. We will be reviewing Real by Kennedy Ryan on our next episode, followed by Flirting Lessons by Jasmine Guillory. Also, be sure to follow us on Instagram at bookedandbusypod_ for updates and additional announcements. And for any collabs, please DM us through Instagram or email us at bookedbusypodcast@gmail.com. I want to start off with this question. And I know this is probably controversial, but now that the last book has been released, who's your favorite man out of the series? Maverick, Josiah, or Judah?
Oh, favorite man. I wasn't expecting that one. Josiah.
Josiah still your top?
Yeah, he's just a good man. He's a good dad, a good husband, and child. I don't know. It's Josiah. Yeah.
No.
Who's yours?
And Josiah was my favorite, but Maverick now, that money real long.
I knew it because he got all that money.
Got the house real big, car real big. That's all I kept on playing in my head.
Everything real big. He better dealing with Hendrix though. Like Hendrix, I knew it had to be some type of boss who, and she got a bossy boss.
I mean, this a rich man. This
Yeah.
ain't no just, I'm just a little basketball player or a little football player or something. This man money real long.
I like him. He just seemed a little bit too unrealistic, I guess, for me. Josiah seems more attainable. Like I don't not unrealistic, like it can't happen, just like yeah, sure. Like I'm this billionaire, but I only want one woman and blah blah blah, and I'm so good. I don't see it happening in real life. I'm sorry, I just don't.
Really? You think that? You think
No.
like all rich men are just kind of
Yup.
stuck up in a sense?
Not stuck
don't
up, but I think that they don't have to choose, especially like your kids all grown up and stuff. Like, I mean, maybe there are some out there. I just haven't come across them. But I mean, yeah. He just seems.
I mean, they just
you know.
have access to a little bit more than majority of people. So
And I get that.
yeah,
My trust
But-
bar is just like real way down there. So
I feel like he's a good man, though. Honestly, I think he's
I
just
do
out
now.
of that.
I do. I think he's a great character.
Yeah, I think he's just like he's real for real. But I think he does like represent that small percentage of rich men out there who aren't
And you
like
know what?
that.
They need representation too, because it's women like me out here who like they don't exist, and they're like, yes, we
Nah,
do.
they exist. I'm manifesting my rich man.
There you go.
Rich, fine, faithful man. That's what I'm manifesting.
Like uber rich, like he on his way to a billionaire rich.
Yeah, that money real long. And then it's like he grew up in wealth, so it's not like he's new to this.
I thought he said he didn't. Like he did and he didn't. Like he grew up like with some money, but now he's like extremely wealthy. Cause like
Yeah,
I remember
he's-
he was talking to
yeah.
Hendrix and he's like, I didn't grow up, like she was like, cause I know this might not be good enough for you, but like your daddy was a basketball player. You had
Yeah,
a
your
little-
daddy was a
you had a
basketball
little leg
player.
up.
Like,
Yeah.
I know a basketball
But that
player
tech
is
money
like,
hit different.
yeah, I know basketball players like earlier on, probably like in the 80s and 90s, they wasn't making a whole lot of money that they are making now.
They was living nice.
But they were well above their means considering cost of
Definitely.
living and stuff at that time. So he was just acting like I ain't always just
Like,
had
boy,
no
yes, you
money.
did.
like
Be quiet.
yeah,
You
like
had a-
come
you had a
on
butler.
now. Right, you have a chef, like all this stuff. You got properties,
You got a Rita cleaning up your house.
right. But yeah, I love him. He's my favorite. I definitely when I was
Maverick
reading
and
this.
Hendrix, and I like
Yeah.
that it was unexpected. Like, cause it had to be some different kind of man for Hendrix to slow down and be like, okay, all right. So I'm glad that I was a little bit surprised the way that he came about.
Yeah, and they just match each other. She was
They
just because
do.
Hendrix is very independent, and she just like it's cool that you got money, but I ain't pressed that you got money. So
That
yeah,
part.
I like that.
Stole
Okay,
that
well let's
lady
get
man
started.
just like Portia.
We're gonna get to that because
I'm
I
just
ain't like that
playing.
bitch. Because I did not like
I'm
that
just playing
lady.
Portia.
No, Portia took that lady. No, this was, that's different. That's different. That was maliciously taking somebody's man. Hendrix was just like, look, I didn't expect this to happen or to play out like this.
And they was broken up. Like, girl, calm down. Go sit
Yeah,
down.
we're gonna talk about their little relationship
do
because
it.
I don't like her, so
Oh,
we're
child.
gonna talk about it. Okay,
Bad
but
lady.
first question. At the beginning, we see Hendrix as she navigates her mother's Alzheimer's and how it affects her. Let's discuss.
That's tough. That was difficult. I was sure hoping not to be morbid. I was like, please don't let this lady pass in this book. I don't feel like going through no sad scenes.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm
that's gonna be
glad
like
they.
3 chapters. Me too.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they show like it's not a happy ending, of course, but it's like they showed coping mechanisms and like ways to that they was learning to deal with her mom and still like keep her a little bit grounded. But did you see that Candy? What Candy just came out and said?
Yeah, about Aunt Bertha having
That hurt my
Alzheimer's.
feelings. I
Yeah,
was like, oh my
that's
god,
tough.
like I can't imagine. I don't want to imagine, but that's horrible. But I'm glad they were showing ways you can help your loved one out and stuff in the book.
Yeah, and with the Alzheimer's thing, it's just so tough seeing just even now with your just with our parents in general. I think it's just tough seeing like our parents just getting older. Like our parents ain't old,
Yes.
but they're getting older. Like I see my dad, he be having to wear his glasses, like his reading glasses all the time. And like my mom, I know. And my mom, she's in remission. She just beat breast cancer not too
Oh,
long
I know that's
ago.
right.
She was in stage 2, so that was like one of the main
That's right.
reasons I
That's
moved back
terrifying.
home. Yeah, it was tough, but I knew she was gonna beat it. I already knew that was so
Beat it.
people beat this all the time, so I was just like, okay, it's not like thing. But I came back home so I can just
Take
be
care of
grounded
her.
a little
Look
bit.
after
Yeah,
her.
and just she had 4 rounds of chemo and radiation, and she had a hysterectomy done, and she had the lump taken out of her breast, so it was a lot, and she lost
Major surgery.
all her hair, and she lost a lot of weight. So it's just like, I say that just to say, just dealing with just an aging kind of parent and just your parents just getting older and things like it's tough in general. It's tough. But
Yeah.
I'm glad that Maverick happened to have, like, he knew what she was going through due
And resources.
to,
Yes.
yeah, with
That's what
his
bonded them
grandfather
together.
having it. Yeah. So I just thought that was like a thing of the universe working in a way for them. So, but
100%.
yeah. So, but yeah, at the beginning we see this going on and just the different things. She was just seeing how her mom was different. Like, I know I wasn't supposed to laugh at this part probably in the book, but it was the part when she was with her. I guess her aunt had already came in and she was taking care of her, and then her mama called her aunt a fat bitch, and she was like, "Mama," like, oh my goodness,
It's not funny. But
yeah.
like, like my mama, one of her aunts actually had dementia or something before she passed, and it just became like a common occurrence in the family. Like, you don't take it personally because she's gonna say stuff sometimes. So that's what it reminded me of. She'd be like, "I told you, like, get away from me, get away from me." Like, if they said, just get away from him for a minute, you just got to be like, okay, and laugh it off and keep going. Like, she'll
Yeah.
return in a minute.
And my great grandma, like, this is when me and my sister, we were like much younger, and we used to like be at summers at my grandma's house, but we would go to our great grandma's house, and the conversation she would be having, because she had some form of dementia as well, and the conversation she would be having, she would be like, "Oh, I went out in the garden today and I did such and such," talking like just normal, like this was like years ago, probably, like talking, and you just like, okay, that sounds good, but that's how you have to like treat that. You don't want to be like, "You ain't going no garden today," like, you know what I'm saying? She'll even have
Yeah.
moments where she'll be like, "All right, now I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna get my axe, I'm gonna chop your ass up with my axe." It'd be
They
like
get
stuff
violent,
like
child.
that. So that's like, yeah, like it's not it's not funny, but it's kind of like you have to laugh to deal with the
You
pain
gotta
of
laugh
it.
at your pain. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't like really had any experience with just Alzheimer's in a sense, and I don't really want to experience that because it just
Same.
seemed
That's terrifying.
it seemed very, very tough for her. And I'm glad that when they were talking about her moving, she ended up moving her aunt and mom to Atlanta. I like that they kind of ended it because, like you said, you didn't want her to die or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they crossed that bridge when they got to it. Like,
Yes.
it wasn't
That
like,
man.
no. Yeah,
Ooh, just
it was
reminded me. And that
gradual.
man moved a whole garden for her mama. Like, I know that's right. A
Yeah.
keeper. Maverick was just proving himself all the way through this book. Like, I do like Maverick. I don't know. Maybe he just seemed a little bit unattainable a little bit to me. And that's my own cynicism. I'm a Capricorn, y'all. Just ignore me. But I like Maverick. I do. Josiah's still my favorite. But I liked him through this book.
We need to give like a little bit of summary.
Okay.
But I'm glad we're catching the gist of, okay, this is about Hendrix's story, the follow up last book to the Skyland
Yes.
series. But let's give a mini summary, even though we've already started talking about it, but we can, give a little bit of summary.
So, in this last book, Can't Get Enough, the last book in the Skyland series, we follow Hendrix's story after hearing Yasmin's and Sodad's story. Here we find Hendrix dealing with her mother who has Alzheimer's, as you may know. She's dealing with that. She's also dealing with her Aspire Fund, which she's helping black women. Her and two partners are helping black women get funding for their entrepreneurship ventures and whatnot. And then she meets Maverick, who is in a relationship. She has a client named Chapel, who was on a reality TV show. We all know Hendrix does the reality TV thing. And I guess one of the producers and one of the stars on that show has a man. What's that lady's name? It starts with
Is
an
there?
L. Zir. Where I get L from? Yeah, Zir. Yeah, because he was
Yeah.
calling the Z. So Zir is in a relationship with Maverick when we first meet her. And child, they throw this all white party, and we don't know, the people at the party don't know that they're already on their way to breaking up. They're just, for publicity reasons, they still together. And
They
that's
already
when
been broken up for about a month.
Yes. So at this party is when Maverick and Hendrix meet for the first time. Afterwards, they do that will they want they thing. They both want each other. However, Hendrix is about her money. She's about her business. She's not about to let anything get in the way because she's trying to plan a whole new show for Chapel, her client, and it heavily involves Zir. So Zir is still grieving a breakup of her boyfriend and whatnot. Hendrix don't want no problem, so she's trying to keep Maverick away from her.
Yeah, because she's
Maverick
set to executive produce a show with
yes,
Chapel.
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes. And Maverick is like, I don't care. I want it. At first, he was trying to be professional. Then afterwards, he's an investor. So he does like risky business. It's not scary to him at all. He wants Hendrix and he's trying to heavily woo her throughout this book. So yeah, Hendrix ends up with him. And then of course, Hendrix's mother with Alzheimer's and her aunt, like they have to take care of her and is dealing with that and the death of her own father, who she's also dealing with through her mother again and again due to her mother's illness. But yeah, eventually they end up together, and Zir kicks Hendrix off of the project, but it don't matter because Hendrix does another project with Miss Soledad, who I now like again, let's just be clear. But they have a show and it ends very happily, and Maverick proposes to Hendrix. Our hot girl slowed down and she found her man. She said yes, and the book ends, and it's a very happy ending all around.
Oh yeah, did you say why or how Maverick is rich? Like we already talking about, like okay,
No,
he's a
I
tech
didn't.
guy,
He's
but
a
he
tech
has a
entrepreneur.
sports
He made an
betting.
app.
Yeah. Yeah, he made a sports betting app, and when they said that, I was like, "Oh, that man rich, because when I was living
Big
in
rich.
Phoenix, I used to be on FanDuel, and I know I
Arizona.
maxed out probably like about a good $1,000 probably
got that
trying to
tech
be
money,
on
boy.
FanDuel."
That's that tech
So
money.
I was
I'm
like,
trying to
I
get
already
the
know
job over there.
his money real long. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay, yeah, he made a sports betting app. What? It's like, okay, his money real long and sold it at that. So he's just
And he's trying to buy a
billionaire, not
basketball team when
millionaire.
we first meet him. So that's the kind of
Yes.
money that Maverick is playing with, y'all.
Yeah. So yeah, money real long. So y'all know why I like Maverick. And like I just like that he's not no snooty ass rich person. That's what
Same.
I really, really like. And that yes, he has all this money. So it's just like a thing of, I just like that
And he's a
he
good
popped up.
guy.
He popped
just-
up so randomly to the rescue because he can. Like he used to be just on his private jet, just here I am in
real.
3 hours. He just here from Tokyo, here from just all up the street. Like like I'm just like that's how rich people do. They can do stuff
Yep.
like that.
And
So,
he's just a good
I
guy
just
to
thought
be,
that was-
that well off. It just seems a little too good to be true, but he is. He's a good man.
Right. He's a good man, Savannah. I know I hate using that. But okay. Let me go to the next question. Also, at the beginning of Can't Get Enough, we get an inside look of Hendrix's career and perks that come along with it. Did you like seeing this representation of black women in this space and overall being successful?
Absolutely. So bad. So bad. I couldn't wait to get to Hendrix's story just for this because, like, out of the three, like, they all, like, boss, like, business women in their own right. But Hendrix is a boss. Like, she's about that. I think I relate to her the most because not like I don't ever want children, but just being childless and focused on career and like knowing where you're
And by
driven right now and
choice.
like
Yeah.
by choice. And it's like I know where I'm focused on right now. Like, I don't have time for nothing else, but like you see the projects that she's working on and why women, some women who are like this, like it's not like we just soulless and heartless. Like, I don't want a family and stuff ever. It's just I'm single track minded right now. I'm young. I need to get while the getting is good. I got all this energy and all this stuff that I'm able to do. Like, I'm busy right now. Why would I, disrupt that? I like being represented in that way. I really felt represented.
Yeah, I like that too. And I really like that with Maverick, since he already had a daughter of his own that just graduated from high school, he just like, I don't want no more kids. And then we come to realize like that's the reason him and Zara had ended up breaking up, because she wanted a family. She wanted to start a family.
It's
And
like, baby.
you're supposed to establish that first and foremost so
And
you
he
won't be
told
heartbroken.
you. And I'm like, why would
Yeah.
you be wanting to? And the way it was coming off desperate, and they just describing her as so beautiful. I'm just like, why would you want to be with a man who's clearly telling you he don't want kids? Girl, you beautiful. Go find you a man who wants some or who don't mind. Like,
I
I
mean,
don't want
she
a
ended
kid
up
with no
doing
children with a
that.
person. She did, but it took her a long
Yeah.
time. She's sitting there cussing everybody out and still in
Not
love with him,
really. It didn't take
inviting
her
everybody to
that long.
she was dating
She
that
was
man,
with
but
a
she was
new.
still hung up on
Yeah.
him because that's why she was mad at Hendrix. She was still hung up on this man even after they broke
Yeah.
up. She's like, I'm still in love with you. Every time they doggone talk, like he gonna change his
Yeah.
mind.
I didn't really like Zara when Hendrix first mentioned working with Maverick. She was just like, "Oh well, you're not his type," or saying something like that. And
That
I'm
was
like,
gross.
"Bitch, what the fuck you mean?" Like, she really showed
Apparently, she
her.
is.
Yeah, she showed her true colors. Like, even when she had that
Oh
conversation with
yeah,
Maverick later when they started actually dating, and Hendrix told her like straight up, like, like, hey, we dating or whatever. And
switch.
he like, what do you mean she's not my type or I wouldn't date her? It was like she just showed how just shallow and how
Nasty.
superficial
Yes,
she is. It was just like, that's so disgusting.
that was
But
nasty with nasty work.
yeah, but back to Hendrix and just her career, and we see her, at this party. When they do this adaptation, because Kennedy Ryan actually brought it back up the other day, like on Instagram, about the adaptation coming to Peacock. And
Yes.
I will say that whoever plays Chapel, it has to be Winnie Harlow, because they said the model
Oh yeah,
had
vitiligo.
vitiligo. Yeah,
Of
so I was
course,
like, that's instant Winnie Harlow.
has
Like,
to.
she has to be that, yeah, that person. So I want to throw that in there. I instantly thought of Winnie
Oh
Harlow
my
when I
god, I'm
thought
so
of
glad they still doing that.
Chapel. Yep. Yeah. At first, I thought they had it on pause, but I guess they're doing like the whole series, the whole Skyland series. Because at first, I just thought it was going to be centered around Yasmin and Josiah. But I guess it's going to be a
Girl, we don't
whole.
want to hear them talk about them kids over and over. Come on, bring us all the rest of the stories.
Yeah.
We
And
don't hear about them kids.
I like that I like Hendrix's story so much, because there's a lot of women out here that can relate to Hendrix. It's just
Yes,
that
for real.
I really fell in love with the book with the no kids aspect. Just
Same.
honestly, like,
Like,
I
no
really like
offense. I
that. Like,
love
it's
my
okay.
nephews. I love
Yeah.
babies, but
Yeah.
it's
Like,
like you
it's
feel. I felt
okay.
seen, and they
Yeah.
made it okay. Like the way Kennedy Ryan wrote it was really beautiful because it's like it's not like like wishful thinking and she's just trying to cover up. Usually in those books, especially if it's written by a man, they gonna try to create a thing where it's like on the surface she's hard and tough, but beneath she longed for a family of her own. And you know what I'm saying? Like, no, this is genuinely how a
Yeah.
lot of
Like,
women
no.
feel. Like, no, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing right now, and that's not what I want for myself right now. Like I felt very seen. I felt very seen.
Yes. And I actually went down a rabbit hole on TikTok of which celebrities talk about they don't want kids or
Tracy
whatever.
Ellis Ross, she's my number
Yeah.
one. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, she definitely don't want kids. Trina doesn't want kids. I think at one point she did, but I think after her mom passed, she didn't really want kids at all. Also, Seth Rogen, he had the most funniest video when he said he didn't want kids, and he was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and she was like, "So, why do you not want kids?" She was asking like that, and he was like, "It just doesn't seem fun."
And then he would have to stop smoking weed and stuff.
It's just like, and I agree, like, it doesn't seem all that it's
Especially
cracked
not
up to
right now.
be.
Like, that's not something that I even see, like, with this administration, everything we have going on in the world. Like, I don't know why you would want to be pregnant or bringing children into the world.
Yeah.
But I get it. To each their own. But I
Yeah.
felt seen.
And I even thought, like, after reading this book, I was like, I may, like, whoever I date next, they may, even though I prefer somebody who don't have kids or whatever, I thought to myself, maybe I need to date somebody with an older 15-year-old or something like
I've
that.
done
And
that
then,
before. It's way
yeah,
better.
yeah, I just feel like it's much more convenient. Like, it's
Yep.
just like,
That kid
okay,
ain't
so now I
never
don't,
around, child.
yeah, so I don't feel pressured to have no
Yep.
children. Yeah, so that's why I was just like, yeah, I much rather I really like them highlighting that child free by choice thing and making women feel that it
Absolutely.
is nothing wrong with you not wanting to have kids. So I really, really did like that. Okay. We talked about Zara or whatever, but let's talk about just the initial Hendrix and Maverick meeting and just in general how this sucks. With them meeting.
Yeah.
Hendrix was first leading the electric slide, and that's when Maverick was
Doing
like,
the
"Ooh,
electric
who is
slide at
that?"
the all white party.
Yes, and we already know that they're broken up, Maverick and Zaire. So with that, it's like it's automatic attraction between Maverick and Hendrix. However, it's the dilemma of okay, Hendrix has to work with Zaire. She wants to executive produce a show. So it's just like
And
that's
she also
her
didn't know who
X-Man.
he was. You know what though? And I kind of had an idea of like whenever this mystery man they was talking about, especially when they were saying like nobody's ever really seen him before. Like they know about her man, but nobody's seen. I was like, I feel like he's gonna end up being a love interest. Like I don't know how or why, but like just because the way they were speaking about him, it kind of just made it seem like like an enigma. I was like, he's gonna be important. I don't know how, but he's gonna be important. And boom, what happens? Hendrix falls for him.
Yeah, he was. I think he was just always like that low key kind of rich man. He wasn't really
Very
put
much
in the
like those tech
spotlight
guys. Yeah.
until, yeah, he wasn't really. He can go in the grocery store and nobody know him. It was just more so
Yes.
of became noticeable because he was with Zare.
Zir.
Yeah. So yeah, just
She just
being
needed a different
supermodel.
man, child. You needed a more public facing, celebrity
Yeah.
entrenched, wanting to be famous kind of man. Like it worked out, girl.
Yeah, she
Her
was
crying on that
showy.
phone and stuff was making me annoyed. Like, girl, stop begging that man. Go find you another one.
Yeah, like you can't change. Like, don't try to change. I mean, he already established like he don't want
Find another
to do
one.
that.
You
And then
can't.
y'all 40. You shouldn't
I'm
even be. That
saying.
shouldn't even be on your radar no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, but whatever. I'm glad she ended up finding her another man and
Yes.
ended up having a
Same.
baby. So clap, clap, clap for her. Okay, let's discuss this shit. This shit was so like silly to me. Skipper and Bolt. Let's discuss they ass.
Oh my god. That was random.
Yes, but I saw what they were doing. It was just so they had, that little
Did you
sitcom
peg
back and
Bolt?
forth.
Yeah, okay, when you first met Bolt, did you peg him for a white man or a black man? I know I ask this all the time, but like, I need to know.
Black. I just automatically started putting people as black, but they said he was short.
I was like, you know what? After they started interacting and whatnot, and him and Skipper, I started picturing him as like Carlton because they did say he was short, and so like
Yes,
I definitely started picturing him as Carlton in my head.
that's a good example. Thank you for
Like
saying
imagine Carlton
that.
getting freaky all over the place.
Yes, yes, that's thank you. Perfect example because I was definitely trying to put like an actor in my head to what can I put like Bolt as, and okay, definitely that because they did say he was short. They did say that. So and Skipper has locks. Then just I'm just picturing. I don't know anybody like actor wise who has locks right now, but
Yeah, I just
anyway,
knew she was tall.
yeah, but with them, it's just like I just thought their thing was so silly because it was so weird. Like when they first in the interaction, he was like, is that your real name?" He was saying it like that. She was just pretty much like asshole. Like, yeah, it is my name. Like they
Yeah, it's
ended
like,
up just matching each other energy like so quick. Like,
and then he followed her out of there. Chat. I was like, what is happening?
yeah, I was just like,
What?
this is so backwards. Like, how y'all hate each other and then want to fuck each other? That was just like, that shit is
It
so
was cute though.
strange. Yeah, but I'm glad they brought that in there. That was a cute little scene. Okay, let's talk about Maverick and his background in general. We didn't really dig into him, but of course, we know that his father is a ex-basketball player, retired basketball player, I guess, and his mother is deceased from a brain aneurysm. He said he grew up in Vegas, right? Or LA.
Yes, he was back and forth, but mostly Vegas.
Okay. And he went to college, but he didn't finish. That's where he met his baby mama, and that's where the 18-year-old comes from. Um,
Tamia, his little baby.
yes, and Tamia is in, what was it, Ghana? She had,
College. Oh yeah, she didn't go to college. Yeah, but she's college aged. Yeah.
yeah, but she took a gap year. She's taking a gap year in the book, and the mom and her, they just live in Ghana, and I just thought that was like, okay, no issues there, but I like how
Out
they
the
brought
way.
her.
That's exactly what
Yes,
I was
just out
thinking.
the way. No issues
That's
there.
messed up.
I know. Right, and the baby mama, of course, was like they're cool, and she's like well off
Yes.
herself because she actually helped with
Yes.
the app. She helped
She
with
sold
the
her
app.
little portion of the company, child. She said deuces and she moved to Africa.
Yep. So I like that. That was just like you said, out the way. Like Maverick is really a single man. I was like,
Yep.
this is perfect.
Say,
Like,
and I said, I do. Don't mind if I do. X and her baby go. Yes, let's do it.
let's discuss Hendrix and Mav finally getting together and giving themselves a shot at being in a relationship. So, okay, these instances with them were just all around just cute, nothing cringe about them. It was that first instance when they were at Waffle House, which was really cute. And then I already knew what was going to happen when I guess they went back to her place. And yeah, we already knew that was kind of gonna happen in a sense, or
I
like
knew
some
when
little
he pulled up and
exchange.
she said it was all right, and she ain't even had. She was in her deep conditioning where you know what I'm saying. And she just threw something on. I was like, girl, it's finna go down. Like you don't let this man see you in your braids and your own hair day, and you just throw on something and go get something to eat. Oh, it's going down.
Right. And it was just
Something is.
the coming back to the place, and he was just like just one drink, and then it was just the initial
Come on now.
like yeah, and it was just she was trying to like, no, I think this is a bad idea, because she knew that what was gonna happen. I just thought that was just, oh my goodness, here we go, here
Here
it
we go.
goes. But yeah, I just
I
like how
really
he,
thought it was gonna be that weed trip, to be honest,
yeah, but
when they went to
they were
Colorado.
watching TV together. You can just tell it was just throughout the book. I'm gonna have to reread this book again because it was just like just romantic energy the whole time.
It was.
Even from like when they were at the game and they went up to their little box or whatever, skybox, and he had grabbed her elbow and was like, no, you call me
He
directly.
wasn't playing.
Yeah, he said, you call me directly. Like, don't be trying to talk to my assistant
Yeah,
through.
I talked to you.
He said, call me directly. I was like,
Like I know
oh,
that's right.
you know you can't access rich people like that. So if they say that mean they mean
Right.
business. I was like, oh wow. I like that he got serious with her when they went back to talk
Yes.
at her apartment. And he was just like, let me just get
Let's stop
serious
playing
right
these
quick.
games.
And then Hendrix just gonna kick him out, go punch on that man and
I
kick
know
him
that.
out.
I was
said, "Ah."
surprised because I sure thought they was gonna go. Like you might as well, girl. You already done did it. Now you can keep on going. But like
Right.
Hendrix had like her backbone was very, that was admirable because she kept it up for a while. She pushed back for a minute, and he was trying hard.
Yeah, because she really, I think her main focus and vision was that show with Zara. And it was just like, if Zara wasn't a
And not
factor,
letting
they would
Chapel
have been
down,
together. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, they would have definitely just been together. So
Absolutely.
I like that she was
She's
really
strong,
hell
though.
bent on her goals. Like, look, I'm not letting no man get in the
Absolutely.
way of this. Like,
don't
yeah,
know
I
if
like
would've
men.
been- I don't know. You probably would have had a good one or two times and be like, no, and then I'm like, okay, we ain't gonna tell Zira for now, but okay.
Now, I will say, I think she was tripping when she said, okay, you remember when they were like, after they finished it, she was like, I'm not letting a man get in the way of this. And he was like, pretty much saying like, I could get you a show. He didn't say it like that, but he said it like
For
that. It was like,
real.
I can get you a
That's
show.
what it is.
Yeah, like, and I would have been like, oh, okay, bet. I probably would have been like, okay, fuck it.
Right?
But yeah, but
Let's get it on paper.
she was just
You
like,
got it in
no.
writing?
Right. But she was like, no, I'm not gonna sacrifice this. I would have been like, girl, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I would have, fuck it. You can, but I'm glad with,
Like at this point, that's resolved now. Like he'll
Right.
get you a show. It's resolved.
right. He got unlimited money. Cash flow is unlimited.
Independent woman.
Yeah, but I just think she didn't want to, Because, you can't really necessarily depend on a man, especially if you
You
don't know
can't.
him
And she
like
still don't
them,
know him like
like
that. He
that.
could come back in 6 months like, well, I helped you to get this. Blah, blah, blah. I feel it.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
it.
So yeah, I understand that aspect, but I'm glad that it ended up working out where Zaire still wanted to work with Chapel, and I think that's all really Hendrix kind of cared about at the end of the day.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I know you wanted
As
to,
long as my girl's good.
yeah. So I'm glad that ended up working out, and
She's still gonna get paid. She's her manager.
yeah, and she ended up getting a show regardless. So I'm glad that
Yep.
happened. I was shocked that it happened to be Soledad, but because I honestly thought that it was going to be, she ended up working with Chapel with the show.
Yeah, I love that for Soledad. Like, girl, you did that. You built yourself back on up, and that's like it's a natural progression from her being like a social media star, and now she's like got her own reality show. Like that's basically what she was doing online, anyways. And she's definitely got a story to tell. Like I like Soledad and how they kept bringing Judah and them back, and we get to see what's going on.
Right, crossover episode.
It's cute.
So
It was
yeah,
so cute.
I'm I'm glad they did that. Let's talk about the when they were at their birthday party. Did you think that was messed up that they actually did that in the closet?
Yes, come on now. Like, come on, y'all.
I had mixed feelings
Come
about
on.
it.
I knew that was gonna come back up too. Like literally when it was happening, and I was like, "Wait, this is gonna be the time when they actually do it." I was like, when she tells that lady is gonna ask. She's going to ask, and y'all gonna have to talk about this. And what happens? She's like, "Did y'all think about my birthday party? You couldn't even
And she
say
was
no."
like,
I would have
right.
lied.
Yeah, and she was like, my birthday was just 2 days ago. And she actually told her, I was like, that is messed up.
Like
I was
full
like,
fledged
damn.
humping on that man.
But then again, I didn't feel bad because she showed her true colors, like trying to talk about how Hendrix, like
She
her,
did.
like, her
She
being
got
plus
nasty
size
quick
and
too. That
whatnot.
means this has been sitting in the back of your mind for a while, my love.
Right, like we not friends, like you said, we business associates. Like we ain't never been fucking
Exactly.
friends.
Once she said that, I would have been like, "Oh, cool. I don't owe you anything. No type of loyalty. And if you want to be real, the man Ben wanted to leave you. Let's get into it. Hendrix should have
Yeah.
read her down.
Right. Yeah. I
But
mean,
she
she
was
did try
classy.
to. And then she said, what was it that she said? Like, she said something in the sense of what you just
She was just
messing
saying
with
like,
a
well,
rich
he chased
man.
me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was going there. Like she was really taking it
She
there.
like, let's be
and-
very clear. You chase after rich men. Your rich man came after me over and over.
Yeah.
And I was like, you better tell her, Hendrix, because that's what happened. You went after rich men. Don't get mad. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Right. So yeah, I was just like, oh, I want to throw that book
You
when I
girls
read
freak.
that part.
Immediately turned me off of Zia early in the book though, when her and Maverick, you're right, when they was having that discussion, and she was like, she's not even your type, or you're not even his type. I immediately was like, oh, oop, nasty.
Yeah, I was
nasty bitch.
immediately
My
like, take
nasty
that
bitch
girl,
alarm.
man. Yeah, I was like, take that
'Cause what
girl,
mean?
man.
What that mean? Yup, exactly. Because what that mean?
Let's talk about the incident where Hendrix went home for a little bit after her aunt's surgery to help take care of them, and
Yes.
her mom fainting, having to go to the hospital.
Yes.
I just thought that was so scary.
When
I
he
honestly thought
showed
something bad
up,
was about to happen.
Oh my God.
Yes, he
That was
showed
one of
up.
my heart. Kennedy writes these like moments into her books where it's always, for me, it's always gonna be something that's like, oh my God, like, and I can literally feel my heart like doing the thing. Like, I don't know how she do that, but that's when he showed up at that hospital, because that was unexpected for me. I don't know why. It seems like in hindsight,
He was
of
in
course,
Tokyo
but,
or
like,
something.
right? And he was at the hospital already though. Like, what?
Like
That's
how?
a good
Superman,
man,
Maverick,
my
like
heart,
what
my heart did the thing. My heart was doing the thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh my
Oh my
goodness,
God.
Superman.
That was beautiful. Like, not you came over. Oh my God! Like in the middle of her plight, like in the middle of this horrifying moment. Here he come at the hospital though. Like not even. I get on the first flight tomorrow morning. Blah blah. That nigga, he was
there immediately.
night.
Yeah, that night.
Like
just
for
within
her,
a
like,
few
you better
hours.
keep him. Oh
Did
my
I skip
God.
over,
That's when my heart. That was a moment though.
I'm trying to think. Did I skip over the part when they actually establishing they want to be together? It was just kind of like he did some convincing, and she was just like,
No.
okay. I don't know if that happened before the incident with her mom or after. I can't remember. But
So,
yeah.
like, I know before the mom is when they hadn't established it, but that's when they were saying, let's be good to each other. Like, they had
Okay.
established, just the mutual line of we're here, but it wasn't a boyfriend thing until, I think, after the blow up with Zira and everybody.
Because I just remember the conversation. He was just like, pretty much, give me a chance. And she was just like, Okay.
Yes, that
And I
yeah.
just thought that was so,
Which
I thought that was
that was
so funny.
before because she did
Yeah,
finally.
I thought that was
Damn.
so funny. He was like, "What changed? Wait a minute! Like, what you changed your mind that quick?" It was just like, "Well, shoot,
You know what was tripping me out though?
what?
Like, she came around a little bit later, but so dad, when they first introduced the idea of Maverick, she talking about something. She was like, they both happy for her, but she's talking about something. Well, you don't want to rush into. Just think about this. Like, I know you ain't talking.
Right?
You hooked up with the man who ruined your life and put your ex-husband in prison. You better hush and sit
We
this one out
look,
talking about something.
Judah did
Just
not
think
ruin
about
her
everything
life.
through.
Judah ain't
He did for
necessarily
a
ruined
second.
for a second.
He did for a second.
But they already
Like
knew
he
Edward
he
was stealing money, like, but they just needed
he definitely
the
shoveled that mother for a while. Like he put a big dent in it for a minute, and then you had to reassemble yourself. Like don't be telling nobody to think things through though.
yeah.
You hush
But Solidarity did make a good point. Like, okay, you get
because
your
it's
show.
messy.
Yeah, like, look, you can get your show, and then after the show, what now? Like, you don't have a man. Now, if you probably
Yeah,
just get a
because she
man, you can
came
still
around
get a
later. Yeah.
show. You can still get a show, but it's like
I
a.
love when people throw their own words back at them. Because remember what you told me? No, forget all this. You going to need somebody to hold you later. That's what Soledad was doing. You told me all these things, and now I'm telling you these things. And that was dope. Because that's what really turned the point for Hendrix.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now
Your
let's.
job ain't going to hold you at night. Yes.
But let's move on to this because this shit pissed me off so bad in this book right here. Let's discuss these fuck niggas suing Aspire and Mav doing the
Oh.
ultimate sacrifice to switch things around.
You know, they pulled that from real life.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the back of the book.
Yeah, like that. That's the first thing I thought of when it was like a lawsuit comes. I was like, that's exactly what they just did to that black lady. Like she was doing that, creating a fund for black people and venture capitalists, and they didn't like it. Even though we've been X'd out of things for literally ever, you get one little project and they mad at how successful it's doing, and that now it's coming across as discriminatory and DEI because that's what they're doing now. That's why they closed that lady's thing down. But it's like y'all been discriminating against for a while. We wouldn't have to do this if these people weren't discriminated against from y'all's venture capitalist schemes. So like, what's going on? But I was like, that's dope how she wrote that in there because that actually happened. Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad they highlighted that. And the person who wasn't he pretty much the guy who tipped it off, the owner of the team that Maverick was trying to purchase.
Son, that little bastard. Yes. Little hater. He was hating on him from the jump.
Yep, and Maverick had to do the ultimate sacrifice of
Ooh,
it was like, and I hate that Hendrix is about to make me mad trying to assume that she didn't know what was going on just yet because Maverick didn't know what was going on, what was happening with Aspire at first until it became his knowledge. Now Hendrix left him that voicemail and she like, what the heck going on? You in cahoots with these people? You know these
Jumping
people?
to conclusions.
Yes, I'm
Don't
like,
even
hold
know.
on now. But Maverick was like, let me just show you. You don't have to question
Baby.
me like that. I ain't with none of that. And he pulled his offer, his
Had been
bid,
working
and
on
trying
that for
to,
so long.
yeah. And it was, I just feel like they both ultimately sacrificed something really
yeah.
important to them. I thought that was a great
For
just
their love.
symbolism. Yeah, I was just like, wow, they really both something within their
He's
careers. They
down.
sacrificed something very, very
And
important.
he went on that little press thing and he said that he loved her. Like, oh my God.
Yep, and he
Like, that's
pulled
a
up.
man,
He pulled
Savannah.
up to a press thing immediately.
That's a man, Savannah.
Yeah, so Maverick is just, it's going to be always Maverick number one out the Skyland
Absolutely.
series for me. Maverick, Josiah, and Judah. That's
Yes.
my order. That's my order.
I like Judah. I mean, I like all of them. So they were very well written, for real. Like, as good black men characters, I liked all of them. But Maverick did his thing. He did his big one. He did
Oh, so how do we feel about this bittersweet ending of the Skyland
that
series?
whole ending, bro. Like, the whole, like, party where they're doing the release of the episode and whatnot. It literally just feels like, whoa, whoa. Dun, dun, dun,
Oh my
dun,
goodness.
dun, dun. It's like everything just works out for everybody. Dun, 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 dun. That's what it feels like. But it felt good. Like,
Yeah.
everybody got, like, their ending that they were supposed to have. And, it was rap nice. There was no loose ends. We don't know what happened. We don't to Edward, and we don't want to know. We don't care.
Yeah, we don't
But
care
you get
about.
to see what happened to everybody and how it plays out, and I like that we got to see them come to happy conclusions, and I like that we didn't have to see nobody go through serious grief, because that was my fear when I started
Yeah.
reading this book. I was like, please don't do this, y'all. But yeah, I liked it. I think they
Yeah.
did a good job. I can't wait for that series, like on
Yes,
Peacock.
I cannot. I cannot wait. I'm just so ready to see the cast and like just how it's going to play
I'm
out.
excited. We gonna have to come back and review that too.
Yeah, we are. I have high expectations for it. So the minute something ain't making sense or don't seem right, it's just
Oh,
gonna
we
it
gonna
might
talk
piss
about
me
it.
off.
Absolutely, we're gonna talk about it. Cause don't do that. You better. And they all better be fine. Don't be trying to be different and get some rando looking man to play Josiah. I'm gonna get upset.
And don't try to cast a whole
They.
bunch of white people. Oh, I'm like, you know how you keep
Oh, you
asking,
better
like, who do
not.
you think?
Yeah. Oh, they better not.
Oh, they better not, like, because I'm going to be thinking, now, wait a minute, I thought they were black. Like, I only know of, like, two white men in this series, and that was the mayor man from the first book and Edward from the second book. I don't picture nobody white, like, within this series.
I really
So,
don't. Not a whole bunch of them. And if I
yeah.
do, it's like they end up turning black in my brain as I read more about them. So like I can't remember a whole bunch of white people except that weird couple that Gasman and Josiah ran into.
Yeah,
But like
yeah,
it's not a lot of white people, and
yeah.
I'd like to keep it that way. Keep it to the keep it in line with the books. So that concludes our review of Can't Get Enough by Kennedy Ryan. We will see you next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening, and be sure to follow us on our socials and check out our reading list on Goodreads.